Hello everyone, I'm Adam and I show you how Zadara and Taikun can bring value for customers together. This video will have three parts. First, we'll take a look how connect Zadara and Taikun. Second, we'll take a look how to deploy Kubernetes cluster. And third, how uh, customers can deploy applications. Okay. So let's start with the first thing. I have Zadara Cloud over here and there's two important things I need to do before I can add Zadara Cloud to Taikun. First, I need to be sure that I have right AWS API policies, and these are the two which we need: EAM full access and member full access. If I have these, I can continue with Taikun. In Taikun, when I want to add the cloud, I go to Cloud Credential to Zadara. We already have three different clouds connected here, but I would like to connect another one. So I can go to Zadara and it will show me what I need. Cloud name is just any arbitrary name you would like, and then you need to specify Zadara API URL, access key, and secret key. These you can generate back in Zadara in your access keys in your profiles. It's really simple. You can just copy and paste these over here. Then Taikun will load available regions, Zadara, zone counts, and then you can pick type of storage you would like to use in with this Cloud Credential. When you are all done, just click Add Cloud Credential and everything is set. So let's go to deploy some Kubernetes cluster. In Taikun, we have the logic of projects. Projects are folders or tenants inside of organizations which I can use to specify environment variables or Kubernetes variables for users. So let's take a look how this looks like. So again, I need to specify some name. I can pick different organization. In this case, I have already Zadara. I can pick available clouds. You can see I have three, which we saw previously, and I can choose where I want to deploy Kubernetes cluster. Then I am ready to go, but as a manager, I can also choose different variables for the users, which will be set automatically during the deployment later. I can specify IP address range for Kubernetes clusters. I can specify version of Kubernetes which I want to deploy. I can specify profiles. Profiles are the way how you can customize the behavior of Kubernetes, monitoring, and politics, security policies inside Kubernetes. I can also enable or disable services like monitoring or backup, and I can pick another credential, which is S3 credential, where the backup will be stored. We have some other features like AI Assistant, which is there to help with troubleshooting of Kubernetes cluster. I can set expiration time for projects. I can choose what flavors will be available in the project for the users to deploy Kubernetes. It can take a little time, but it will automatically load or available fresh flavors from the cloud itself. So I will choose these two. I can enable auto scaling. Again, really simple to set up. All it's managed. I'm only choosing my intent cluster, what I want the cluster to do and how it should behave. And also I can directly assign users which can use this project. Only thing I do next is just to click create project, and right now it will create empty project for me, which can be given to different users, and then as a self-service can define their Kubernetes cluster. How difficult it is to deploy Kubernetes cluster? Let's take a look. So only thing I need to do is add some servers. It will lead me, you see this notification bars over here. It will lead me and it will not allow me to do anything wrong. So I would, for example, want to have masters. My masters can be smaller, and I would like to have HA Kubernetes cluster, so I will define 3. Let's add them. Now I have 3 masters. It's in status waiting. It doesn't do anything until I will commit changes. Again, it will not allow me to commit changes until I fulfill all the requirements. So let's continue with this. So another will be worker. So let's define worker. In this case, I would like to have 3 workers. It could be any number between 1 and 100. In this case, I want just 3. And this time, I also want them to use the bigger flavor. And last, what is necessary is Bastion. Bastion is here for security reasons, and it provides access to a Kubernetes cluster for admin users, and also for the internet. It acts as a firewall for APIs. So now all is set. You can see we have green light, and only last thing I need to do is hit commit. When I hit commit, it will start to do everything in the Zadara and to deploy the Kubernetes cluster. I don't need to predefine anything. It will automatically deploy networks, roles, virtual machines, disks. Everything will be automatically created when I hit commit. I don't need to go to Zadara dashboard, and I don't need to predefine anything else. I don't need to pre-create anything. As this takes something between 10 and 15 minutes, let's go and take a look to existing project. So now let's move to how Kubernetes is managed when it's deployed. This is already existing cluster. You can see it exists already for a few months, and I can see the current load. I can deploy some extra virtual machines next to the Kubernetes cluster. I can also see installed applications in this Kubernetes cluster. So what are my options? So me as a manager, I have setting available, and I can change some of these parameters which are preset previously in the project. I can interact with the Kubernetes cluster. It means that I can go to Kubernetes information, for example. I can see the pods deployed. I can take a look at their log. I can open terminal and manage directly from Taikun dashboard the pods. I can also create kube configs dynamically here for different users. I can use these kube configs to again access the Kubernetes cluster interactively and manage the Kubernetes cluster from CLI. I don't need to download anything. I can just use kubectl from dynamic dashboard like this. Another very useful feature is events, which will show me what happened in the Kubernetes cluster. I can filter them, I can search, and for example, when you're deploying to Kubernetes cluster and something is failing, you will see all the information. Then we have complete centralized logging management, we have alerts, we have monitoring metrics, we have backup available here, so we can create backup policies and backup and restore not just the application but full namespaces with all the data, all the disks, everything which is in the namespace in Kubernetes, and we can restore them in this Kubernetes cluster, or we can restore them also in another Kubernetes cluster, which is deployed through Taikun. All right, let's go back to the cluster. From lifecycle point of view, I can add more servers, more nodes. I can remove the nodes which were deployed. So I have lifecycle options here. When new version is available, upgrade button will pop up here, and I can upgrade Kubernetes cluster automatically. I can repair the cluster if, for example, some virtual machine is unavailable, or someone by mistake delete the disk or the virtual machine itself. I can hit repair, and Taikun will redeploy affected node back to its glory. One of the things also that we have all history of events, so you can see who did create the cluster and who did last operations on it. Full history is available in the history button, and it will show us everything that happened with the Kubernetes cluster itself. There's more options on the left, how to interact with Taikun. There's also much more options for a manager, how we can set up quotas for its users. You can see CM level of requests in Taikun for security purposes. You can create your own showback summary and rules, which will automatically go to all the Kubernetes cluster and will calculate, for example, how much container CPU and memory or disk are using in different Kubernetes clusters. It's one-time setup, and it will automatically go in through all of clusters available. You can set up as an MSP, you can set up your own billing and chargeback. We also support credit card payments through Stripe, so you can integrate all of that. But that's for more detailed presentation, which we'll skip today. But if you're interested, we are always available for you to do detailed presentation. Let's go to the project, back to the project. One more thing I would like to show you here is the installed application. So for example, in this cluster, we have already installed application. We can interact with them, but I would like to show you how you can easily deploy applications, basic applications as a service to Kubernetes clusters. You don't need to even access the Kubernetes cluster itself ever. You can just go through the process I show you, deploy Kubernetes cluster, and then you can directly jump to applications. There will always be default catalog available, and from the default catalog you can deploy applications. Taikun provides a special repository with applications called Taikun Managed Apps, which we do support. And from lifecycle point of view, so if your customers want something from the Taikun Managed Apps, which is more than I'm showing here, more applications that's available here, then we will support the deployment and lifecycle changes of that application. In this demo, we have bound projects. It means that we can deploy to the two Kubernetes clusters. One is in London and one is in Zadara Interop Lab in Israel. And we have the application catalog here. You as a manager, you can add more applications available to you. You can see I have 130 applications available here, but your customers or customers in general can also add their private repositories, their own Helm charts, and deploy and use Taikun as a CD for their application process. So if they have GitLab or GitHub and they just want to deploy, they can directly integrate with Taikun through Helm charts here. But anyway, let's go and let's deploy application itself. In this demo, we will deploy Postgre, as database as a service is one of the most required applications. So let's hit install and let's show you how it's. I will deploy. I will just choose some arbitrary name. I will deploy to London. I will choose namespace. If I have no available namespace I want, I can also define my own namespace. In this case, I will pick the PSQL namespace because I did prep the demo, of course, before. If I continue, it will ask me to define some variables. As you can see, this is prepped variables, so I don't need to define all 130 different variables which are required by Helm chart. It will directly ask me only for the variables and even give me description what the variable is used for and what is importance of it, right? So, for example, here I will define some password. In this case, it will be some unsecure password. So don't take this as a guide. It's just for demo purposes. Secret. Yeah, let's change this to Adam, so everything will be Adam in this case. And also, what is important, I can also here pick not just the application itself, but how the application could be accessed. So I can access load balancer. I can access it through node port or through cluster IP. If I choose load balancer, we also integrate Zadara feature, which you can have a load balancer directly exposed to the internet, or I can choose this to be internal. In this case, I will not use load balancer as I pick really unsecure credentials. and I will only use the application, the Postgre will be only available inside the Kubernetes cluster. Last step I need to do is just hit run install, and it will install the application for me. It will transfer to the application log, deployment log, and you can see how the application is deployed. In the log, you can see that we didn't have the application installed before, so it doesn't exist, and it started creating resources. I think it will take something like 30 seconds. So in this demo, we will wait for the 30 seconds, but if it will be too long, guys in post will cut the piece in the video, but nothing will happen in between, just the point. But it's even faster, and you can see that even it tell me how I can access the Postgre. So Postgre is available, but as this is only available in cluster itself, I can still access the database, right? So how I can do it? Here you can see the path to which we deploy, and I can go directly to my project in London. By the way, you can see in installed app that now we have Postgre here, and I can go and I can use the feature I showed you before, the Kubernetes information, and I can interface directly with the Postgre. So I will switch to Postgre namespace. There's my Postgre deployed, and I can open the terminal. And here I can just copy paste from the application, and now it will ask me for my password, and now you can see I am in the database, and it's ready and fully functional. So thank you for your time. I hope this sparked your imagination what you can do with Taikun and Zadara, and looking forward to work on the project with you.